Supernatural mysteries and science, fact, fiction, or something greater. Do you believe in miracles or the supernatural? What if I told you that many of these phenomena, which have intrigued humanity for centuries, are beginning to be unraveled? By science, get ready for a fascinating journey where the inexplicable and the rational collide, revealing truths you never imagined. History, reports of miraculous cures, supernatural visions, and near-death experiences have always defied logic. But is there a scientific explanation for these phenomena? Or are we facing something that transcends human understanding? In this video, we will explore what is a miracle, a divine phenomenon, or just something that science does not yet understand. Real cases that defied science, from unexplained cures to paranormal events that still leave experts without answers. The science of the placebo effect, how the mind can heal the body and create miracles. Near-death experiences. What happens when we are between life and death? Are they hallucinations or glimpses of another dimension? The mind-body connection. Discover how our thoughts can influence our health and reality in surprising ways. Combining scientific data, real stories, and profound reflections, this video will challenge your beliefs and invite you to reflect on what the supernatural really means. Can science and faith finally work together to explain the unexplainable? What about you? Have you ever experienced something that seemed supernatural or miraculous? Leave your story in the comments and let's explore together these mysteries that transcend human understanding. What is considered a miracle or supernatural? Have you ever witnessed something so inexplicable that it defied logic? Something that seemed like divine intervention or an event beyond human comprehension? Miracles and supernatural phenomena have fascinated us for centuries, but how do we define what a miracle really is? And is the supernatural simply something that science does not yet understand? A miracle, in the religious view, is often described as an extraordinary event caused by a divine force. It can be an unexpected healing, an intervention in a moment of despair, or even a sign sent by something greater than ourselves. Cultures around the world have their own interpretations. In Christianity, there are accounts of Jesus walking on water and healing the sick. In Hinduism, gods and avatars perform supernatural feats to protect their devotees. In shamanism, miraculous phenomena occur during healing rituals, connecting the spiritual with the physical. But if we consider the scientific point of view, many of these manifestations are placed under a critical microscope. What is seen as divine by some can be interpreted as a coincidence or a natural event by others. Supernatural phenomena are those that seem to defy the known laws of nature. But historically, many events considered miraculous have already been explained by science. For example, solar eclipses, previously seen as signs of divine wrath, today we know that they are natural alignments of celestial bodies, instantaneous cures. Some can be attributed to the placebo effect or to psychological factors that trigger physiological responses in the body. On the other hand, there are phenomena that remain unexplained. Objects that move by themselves, voices that appear in recordings, or cures without scientific explanation continue to intrigue scientists and religious people. Coincidence or divine intervention? In an increasingly technological world, modern miracles take on new forms. Stories of disaster survivors, people who escaped death by seconds, or even children who were cured of terminal illnesses are often interpreted as evidence of divine intervention. A famous example is the case of Anna Elizabeth, a young woman who was cured of a terminal illness after a religious ritual in Lourdes, France. Another intriguing case involves a man who survived a lightning strike and claims to have had a vision that changed his life forever. What really separates a miracle from a natural event that is still not understood Is the supernatural just a temporary label for what science has not yet been able to explain? Or is there something deeper and more mysterious that will never be fully deciphered? Have you ever experienced something that seemed like a miracle or supernatural? Leave your story in the comments and share your view on what you consider a true miracle. Famous cases investigated by science. Some supernatural events are so impressive that they challenge even the most skeptical. But what happens when science decides to investigate these phenomena? Can the unexplained finally be explained? Today, we will explore famous cases that continue to intrigue scholars and defy logic. Case 1. The Miracle of Lourdes. Since 1858, the small town of Lourdes, France, has been the scene of reports of miraculous cures. People with incurable diseases claim to have been cured after visiting the spring of water that was said to have been blessed by the Virgin Mary. More than 70 cures have been officially recognized by the International Medical Committee of Lourdes, composed of scientists and doctors. Despite this, science has still not been able to explain many of these cases, which involve instant recovery from terminal or chronic illnesses. Case 2. The Enfield Poltergeist. In the 1970s, a house in Enfield, England, became known as the scene of one of the most famous cases of paranormal activity. Furniture that moved on its own, mysterious voices recorded on cassette tapes, and testimonies from police and journalists made the case one of the most documented in history. Paranormal researchers say it was a genuine poltergeist, but skeptics believe it may have been an elaborate hoax. Case 3. Apparitions of Fatima. In 1917, 3 children in Fatima, Portugal, reported apparitions of the Virgin Mary, culminating in the famous Miracle of the Sun, which was observed by thousands of people. Witnesses claimed that the sun danced across the sky, emitting vibrant colors and appearing to move closer to Earth. Scientists and historians disagree on what actually happened, saying it was a mass optical illusion, a meteorological phenomenon, or something supernatural. Case 4. Near-death experiences, NDEs. Many NDEs have included visions of tunnels of light, encounters with deceased loved ones, and a sense of complete peace. Scientific studies have attempted to determine whether these experiences are caused by brain activity or whether they actually have a spiritual origin. One famous case is that of Dr. Mary Neal, an orthopedic surgeon who reported seeing a dimension of light after nearly drowning. Case 5. Religious stigmata. Throughout history, individuals such as Saint Francis of Assisi and Padre Pio have exhibited marks on their bodies that corresponded to Christ's wounds at the crucifixion. These marks, known as stigmata, have been the subject of intense debate. While religious scholars consider them to be divine signs, science points to possible psychological or self-induced causes. Are these cases evidence of something beyond our comprehension, or simply natural phenomena that we do not yet understand? Is science any closer to unraveling these mysteries, or will certain events always remain in the realm of the supernatural? Which of these cases intrigued you the most? Do you believe that science will one day explain all supernatural mysteries? Placebo effect and the mind-body connection. Have you ever heard of miraculous cures that defy medical logic? What if these cures were actually the result of the power of our own minds? The placebo effect and the mind-body connection are among the most fascinating phenomena in science, raising profound questions about what a miracle really is. What is the placebo effect? The placebo effect is the body's physiological response to something we believe to be a treatment, even if it is just a harmless substance like a sugar pill. Studies show that up to 30% of patients can experience significant improvements simply by believing they are being treated. This response can be triggered by a positive expectation, showing the power of faith whether in medicine or in something greater. Cures attributed to placebo. Case 1. A terminally ill patient who was given an experimental drug, which was actually a placebo, and showed temporary recovery before learning the truth. Case 2. A study in which chronic pain patients reported relief after receiving simulated treatments, such as fake surgeries. These stories demonstrate how the mind can activate healing mechanisms in the body that are often mistaken for miracles. The brain is a powerful tool that can directly influence our health. Neuroscience studies show that practices such as meditation, prayer, and positive visualization can reduce inflammation, relieve pain, and even improve the immune system. In extreme cases, people in desperate situations report healing from terminal illnesses, attributing their recovery to faith or spiritual experiences. Religion and spirituality play important roles in many of these healings. Research shows that people who maintain a consistent spiritual practice tend to cope better with illness and have greater emotional resilience. Does this indicate a connection between the spiritual and the physical, or simply the power of the mind at work? Many reports of healings attributed to saints or religious figures have traces of the placebo effect. By believing strongly in something or someone, people can access inner powers that seem to transcend scientific explanation. This doesn't diminish the value of these experiences, but it does challenge us to understand how the mind and body work together. What does this tell us about the nature of miracles? Are they manifestations of divine power or the result of a mind we don't fully understand? And most importantly, can we learn to harness this power to heal and transform our lives? Do you believe in the power of the mind to create miracles? Do you know anyone who has experienced something similar? Near-death experiences, hallucination or transcendence. What happens when we are between life and death? For many, near-death experiences, NDEs, are moments of transformation that defy logic. But are they simply hallucinations of the brain, in its final moments, or glimpses of another dimension? What are near-death experiences? NDEs are reports of people who came very close to dying, but survived and described extraordinary experiences. The most common reports include feeling as if they were floating outside their body, seeing a tunnel of light, encountering deceased loved ones or spiritual figures, a sense of absolute peace, often described as ineffable, meaning something that cannot be explained or described in words. Famous NDE cases. Case 1. Dr. Eben Alexander, a skeptical neurosurgeon who reported a detailed NDE while in a deep coma, which he described as a journey to another world. Case 2. A woman who was declared clinically dead for 20 minutes reported meeting a deceased loved one and learning information that was only later confirmed by her family. Science has tried to explain NDEs as residual brain activity, hypothesis that the brain, even in critical condition, continues to function and creates these sensations as a defense mechanism. Chemical release. During trauma, substances such as DMT can be released, generating visions and euphoria. Oxygen deprivation. Lack of oxygen to the brain can cause vivid hallucinations, including sensations of movement and light. But what about the reports that science cannot explain? People who report visions of events that occurred around them while they were unconscious, such as doctors and nurses describing their resuscitation attempts. Descriptions of places or people that could only be confirmed later, raising questions that go beyond medical explanations. For many religions, NDEs are visions of an afterlife or a brief encounter with the divine. Buddhism, for example, describes similar experiences in the Bardo, the state between death and rebirth, suggesting that such visions may be universal. In Christianity, many NDEs include figures such as Jesus or angels, reinforcing the faith of those who have experienced them. Most people who experience an NDE report profound changes such as loss of fear of death, increased appreciation for life, changes in values, focusing on love, compassion, and spirituality. Are these experiences windows to another dimension, or creations of the human mind under extreme stress? And if they are real, what does this tell us about life, death, and what comes next? Can science and faith go together? For centuries, science and faith have been seen as opposites, one seeking rational explanations for the world, while the other embraces mystery and the transcendent. But what if they didn't have to be enemies? Could they together offer a deeper understanding of miracles, the supernatural, and most importantly, human existence itself? Science, by definition, seeks answers based on observable evidence. Faith, on the other hand, often operates in the realm of the inexplicable and the intangible. Despite their differences, both share a common goal: the search for meaning. Great scientists such as Albert Einstein declared that science without religion is blind and religion without science is crippled, suggesting that the two fields can complement each other. Where science and faith converge, studies on spirituality show that religious practices such as prayer and meditation have proven benefits for mental and physical health. Neuroscience experiments have shown that people who have spiritual beliefs have greater emotional resilience in the face of adversity. In events such as unexplained healings, science often acknowledges the role of mental state and faith in recovery, even if it does not offer complete explanations. Science has advanced rapidly, but many fundamental questions remain unanswered, such as what happens after death? What is the origin of consciousness? Is there a greater force guiding the universe? Faith steps in where science leaves off, offering comfort, hope, and a greater meaning to life. Philosopher Karl Popper suggested that no scientific theory is complete, as new data can always emerge to challenge current knowledge. Similarly, dismissing faith or the supernatural outright without investigation can limit us from understanding what it truly means to be human. What makes science and faith so powerful is their ability to help us explore the big questions of existence. Together, they can guide us toward a more complete understanding of the world, one that encompasses both reason and mystery. So, do science and faith really need to be enemies? Or are they two sides of the same coin, helping us understand the inexplicable? Do you believe that science and faith can go hand in hand? What is your view on the mysteries we discussed today? Leave your comment and share this video with those who also seek to understand the balance between reason and transcendence.